Previously on Drag Duel, our warriors took part in a side quest where they had to make makeup looks that were experimental and stunning. After that, they took part in the most emotionally taxing challenge of the season, where they each had to pick a ballad of their choosing and perform the hell out of it. We also saw Trisha Can reveal the true reason behind her and HYDRA's rivalry, which also was tied to Zelda's ousting from the judging panel. After a fantastic ballad challenge and vintage runway, Orbit took home the win in one of the most iconic performances of the season. In an emotional bottom two, we saw friends Trisha Can and Susan fighting for their lives, lip-syncing in a drag duel to the death to Va Va Voom by Nicki Minaj. Trisha Can gave us one of the most iconic lip-sync performances of the season, and unfortunately we had to say goodbye to Susan. Only 4 remain and 3 can make it to the finale. This is their last chance to prove why they deserve to be a finalist and vie for the crown in our grand finale. Hi, I'm Derek.
And my name is BUCY. And if we haven't pushed 2 episodes for 2 weeks, this look would have made sense with the time frame. Welcome back to the Drag Duel, your new favorite online drag competition, where the winner gets a grand prize of $2,500, courtesy of the Drag Detective.
Also, a $75 lash package courtesy of Lash Core.
And a custom nail set courtesy of Kitty Claw Cosmetics. Meow.
The runner-up will receive a $500 cash prize.
Also, a $250 MX Congeniality prize, courtesy of the Woodcraft Essential. Check out all of our generous sponsors in the links in the description.
If you would like to contribute to this season's prize package, email us at dragduelofficial@gmail.com.
Our drag warriors have just survived the most emotional episode of the season, with the fan favorite Susan being eliminated.
We'll unpack a little bit of the drama as well as dive into some of our warriors' feelings of the entire season as a whole. So let's check in with them now.
Fucking hell, I am so happy to be in the semifinals! Yes! Who would have thunk it? I feel like the whole beginning of the season, I was just waiting for my time to come. I was like, they're gonna get rid of me soon and it'll all be over and I can finally rest. But there ain't no rest for the wicked, and I'm still here, and I am so fucking proud of myself for getting this far and for how hard I worked and how much I have developed as an artist. I think I deserve to be here, so I'm like really, really happy and really proud of myself.
It feels affirming. It feels like, yeah, I deserve to be here. I've done pretty well in the competition, minus 2 weeks, especially after coming off of a win going into the semifinals. I'm like, hi, and the semifinals being like a ball like look challenge, I'm like, hi. I don't know, I'm feeling pretty good.
I feel really proud of myself. It's one of those things, like I've said this whole time, I've always expected to be here, but right now I am kind of shocked I'm here. I feel like I just lip sync, I sent home the fan favorite, R.I.P. Susan, literally like, ripped my heart out. But I don't look at the track records, don't look at none of that. But if you like look at us all, I think we all look great. Like I think we all are tearing this up.
Making the semifinals, I feel great. I can say I didn't expect to make the semifinals. And I know I'm not doing myself any favors because I've been cocky throughout the competition. But I feel like I've earned it.
Losing Susan at this certain point of the competition has affected the competition in ways that are indescribable and unfathomable.
I feel like Susan was the glue that was very loosely holding the chat together, and once she was murdered off, the chat kind of just fell apart. Like, that's when the claws really came out. I feel like Susan was almost like everybody's mom, and we didn't want to get messy in front of her. We were like, oh, but Susan's there and she's telling us all to be nice to each other.
It's kind of taken the voice of reason out of this whole feud between Hydra versus the world. Even though Susan was insane, with that whole drama, she was the sane one. But now that she's gone, oh mama. Oh bitch mama. Oh bitch mama. Full animosity, and it's kind of crazy.
Everybody is just at each other's throats. I feel like it's a lot less wholesome and fun without our mother dear.
Though I don't always agree with her taking both sides, she always did. She always made sure that like she tried to mediate. She always tried to be like a person for every single person. Like I know Susan probably was the person who contacted like the most people in the cast and like talked to them regularly. And it's just really sad to see her go because now it just feels like everyone versus Hydra, even though that's not on purpose. It just, she burnt a lot of bridges.
Yeah, there's definitely like a huge gaping Susan-sized hole in our little family now, and I miss her already.
So for the entire Zelda situation, what happened was I was in the bottom that week. Everyone knew I was in the bottom that week because I completely bombed Snatch Game. So that was out of the question. I wasn't like rigging the episodes to get ahead or anything. Zelda was Rosa's friend. Rosa that week ended up hospitalized because she had severe food poisoning and her mom was in critical condition in the hospital. But she told Rosa information about the episode. She told her that the bottom two is probably going to be me and Trisha, with me being in the bottom for sure, and Rosa being low. And Rosa broke from stress and from being ill, and she told me that. At that point, I felt like, based on what Rosa told me, that Zelda also sent her my lip sync, which she then said she didn't, but I'm still not really sure. And at that point, I felt like Zelda was trying to kick me out of the competition. But I felt horrible for Rosa, so I didn't say anything. I was just like, hey, I'm gonna wear an ugly runway, so I'm definitely the last one. I hope you manage to like pull out of the bottom and Trisha ends up lip syncing against me. And that was the entire thing that happened. And the fact is, if I wanted to get any sort of advantage, I could have refilmed my lip sync, but I submitted my lip sync weeks before the entire thing happened, which all the judges and pretty much everyone in the cast can confirm. So if I wanted to get any advantage for myself at any point, I could have said Zelda was sending information to Rosa that week and got myself out of the bottom, but I didn't.
My final thoughts on my end of it, where it's just Hydra versus me, I don't care anymore. A lot of that happened like weeks ago, and I'm like kind of over it. I haven't spoken to Hydra like at all, so in my mind I'm kind of like, okay, well, I'm over it. I hope you're over it, because I don't care anymore, so whatever. She's said a bunch of shit about me. I finally said a bunch of shit about her. I think we're even. Although I will say, she says shit about me or whatever, and it's like brutally honest. It's like keeping it real. The second I give that same energy back, I'm evil, malicious, I've been called pathological, psychotic, things like that. Huh? Okay. Work. Diva.
There is so much that I would like to say, but at the same time, I have just taken a step back. I am not engaging with drama anymore. I am just going to laugh off the mean comments. I'm going to make jokes about the whole situation, and I am not going to, you know, like get into the nitty-gritty of it, because at this point there's no point. Like at this point it's just like everybody screaming at a brick wall, and I don't have the energy for that. I'm trying to win this crown, bitch.
Because Tyler is making it out that I just randomly started attacking him in DMs, which never happened. He DM'd me. But this is the history of our relationship. So week one, the judges asked us, do you agree with the placements? Is there any placement you would have changed? I said I would have had Tyler in the bottom because of his runway. That's everything he said. Tyler goes on to call me self-absorbed, nasty, gross, I give him the ick, I'm selfish, and like 10 more things. And that's not the end. So Like, he made 10 personal attacks because he said I didn't like his runway. And it's not just me. Tyler has repeatedly attacked people on a personal level. When Shiniza was eliminated, and this didn't involve me because it was Pride Week for me, so it wasn't even in chat. But an entire day later, people in the group started talking about the challenges. Again, when a judge asked us, what do you think about the episode and results? And everyone is talking, everyone is fine. Like, everyone sent love to Shiniza, sent her messages privately, sent her messages in the group. And Tyler gets into the group and calls everyone nasty, gross, self-absorbed, disgusting. Like, he just loves to throw out words like that, and he has done so talking about me nonstop. And then Tyler tries to act like he's this victim and I've been attacking him. I haven't talked to Tyler. The one time I did talk to Tyler, I complimented him. Oh, I'm sliding into people's DMs to manipulate them. We had like 2 interactions where Tyler DM'd me, I never DM'd him. So again, straight up lies. Another thing, Tyler keeps accusing me and keeps trying to spin this narrative where he's this like grand victim and an underdog. Tyler is incredibly privileged. Tyler has had Dragula finalists help him to make his package. He had one of his first performances be in front of 50,000 people on Pride. He gets to walk around town in full drag. He gets to get a full bar with an audience just to film a challenge. You are insanely privileged. You're trying to spin this narrative where you're like a complete underdog, and I'm this polished, like, close-minded queen that only likes one type of drag. That's completely false. You're beyond privileged. And this is a fact that you know, that pretty much everyone in the group knows, that everyone in my country knows. I've been pushing for like diversity in the drag scene in my country from day one. Like, I had 2 opportunities to book people. I booked a trans person, I booked a non-binary queen, I booked an alternative performer, I booked someone who never got to perform, who was in a city that was far away. I've tried to bring ballroom culture to Serbia. I've booked people from out of country who are voguers to perform in Serbia. I was the founder of the first collective in like the entire region that had a drag king. I'm super close with Bobby. Susan is not like a traditional queen. You're trying to spin a narrative that's so disgusting, where I'm like super close-minded and where I hate people because of who they are. You are so gross. You are trying to self-victimize yourself. And you know how powerful the status of a victim is, so you're trying to abuse it.
Track records to me really, like, they do factor in, but I think that there's other factors that you kind of have to look into. Like, this is a bad example, but like if you think about like people who have left, and like if you look at like Orbit almost won the marketing ad, but Titanic's gone. So in theory, in my brain, the person left who did the best in the marketing ad was Orbit. If you think about the Gaga challenge, in my opinion, I think I was second. I don't know, I might not have been. If you look at that, Christi's gone. So if you think about it, like, I did really well that week. In my brain, is a win because Christi's no longer here. I know that's not how it actually works. If you look at it that way and you look at it like, oh, Trisha was safe for the roast, but like, I think I did a great job. But at the same time, like, I really pushed through. A lot of people thought that was my time. And I think that that's important to notice those things, as well as like looking at the track record. It's looking at the journey as well, because it's easy to look at an information thing and make a decision, but if you look at actually what like was going on, it sometimes cloudies it, and I think that we should be clouding it. I don't feel like, at least other than HYDRA, I don't think my competitors look down upon me for my track record. I think a lot of them understand. Some of it was circumstantial, some of it was just like how the cookie crumbles, you know, and stuff like that. And I feel like from an outside perspective, from a fan perspective, I understand why people might not be rooting for me. But at the same time, I've shown every single time I've been pushed down that I can get back up. Every single time something behind the scenes was funky, I pushed through it. As a whole, I look at my performances and I've had some really high highs and I've had some really low lows. But every single time I had a low low, I got back up, I put myself together, and I turned it out the next week.
What I've learned about my drag in the competition is so much. Going into the season, I thought it was gonna be like the lip sync assassin and like bomb everything where I would need to speak. And I like impressed myself and exceeded my expectations by performing well in the comedy challenges. I think like track record wise, I performed the best out of anyone in the season in the comedy challenges, and I didn't see that coming. So I don't think I'm like a comedian. I'm not gonna do that after the season. But I think I've proven to myself that I have like the capability of, when I try hard enough and put enough of myself into it, to like overcome anything except Vox Dogs. Like that I can't do. But I also learned so much about sewing. I was pretty bad at sewing before the season. I made like relatively simple stuff, and seeing TITANIC, seeing CHRISTI, seeing TRISHA, they all pushed me and inspired me to like do better and bigger stuff. My drag is so much better because of the competition. I've pushed myself to like places I never expected to be. But what I've learned about myself, I think I've been a bit irritating. I think I have a personality that's not rootable for.
I am a competitive person. I've been new about that. So before anyone comments like, oh, you just learned that, I've been new. That's why I like competitions. But I'm a little more confrontational than I thought I was. I thought I was just like chilling in the back, doing my own thing, being quirky, hee hee, haha, woohoo, authority, woo! But like, I'm fighting bitches. For honestly kind of no reason.
I learned that I am capable of pushing myself a lot more than I realized. I'm capable of doing things I've never done before. Like almost every single challenge I was like, I've never done this before. The whole experience has shown me that like I can pretty much do anything except for make an outfit out of plastic apparently. But I feel like, yeah, I have learned I have so much power inside me and so much creativity. And also I learned to ask for help because in the beginning of the season, a big part of why I was struggling so much is because I didn't ask anybody for help. I didn't reach out and be like, hey, I'm struggling like doing this or that. Like that's why I wasn't sewing my costumes, because I can sew but I don't know how to make patterns and I don't know where to buy patterns in Korea. It's not until the later stages of the competition that I realized that my community supports me and is rooting for me and is willing to like come to my aid when I need it.
I can do a lot more than I thought I could. And I need to work on a lot more than I thought I did. I always imagined if I ever did like a competition TV show, I would go home on Snatch Game, or I would go home on The Roast, or something like that. And I really was like, oh, these are the things I really need to focus on. And in this competition I did, and thankfully they paid off. But also, at the same time, like ballads, I was like, oh, like I'll be fine. And then I wasn't fine. The audition tape, I was like, oh yeah, this is silly fun, you know, he was not fine. And so like I think I needed to start looking at my drag maybe a little more objectively. I've surprised myself, I have disappointed myself. It's been a roller coaster. It's really been a roller coaster.
My favorite moment of the whole season, honestly, it's probably Christy's Vox Sox's share. That's probably my favorite because I quote it all the time. Specifically her tapping the lung and saying, I'm an ally. I think it's really funny. I'm a Wisconsin girl at heart. Maybe I'll do country next. Like, ew.
My favorite moment of the season was Christy's Vox Dogs. I think that was completely perfect. I think her runway was just the cherry on the top. I think that was, like, for me, the peak of the season. I think it was so fun. It was so effortless. It was pure entertainment. I think that was, like, incredible.
So my favorite moment of this season was when HYDRA lip sync. No, I'm just kidding. My favorite moment of the season was definitely the art pop ball. Like, I know that was so long ago, but it was like, it was so fun. Like, I remember filming that day. Like, that was probably one of the only days that was like not full of stress while filming for this. Like, It was one of those things, I got my makeup done by like 9 o'clock. My friends got there by 11. We were like chilling. I had all my outfits set up, all my hair ready, everything, ideas, shots planned. And we just got to literally chill for the whole day, laugh, do a bunch of silly things while filming, and it was just a lot of fun.
I absolutely loved doing the Lady Gaga music video episode. Even though my look was boo-boo, nasty. The challenge itself was like super fun to film and to put together, and I was really proud of it. I felt warm inside because the audience response was so positive to me as well.
If I could go back to Trisha when she got cast on Drag Duel, I would tell her to not make a glass of water. I think that glass of water changed my directory for the worse. But at the same time, I don't regret it. Like, I think it was still funny. Y'all can clown me in the comments.
Honestly, the hardest moment of the season was probably the art pop ball. I like completely spiraled. That was probably the hardest moment because I literally felt so shit ass. But luckily it turned out fine.
One of my favorite like non-challenge things that has happened is definitely my relationship with Susan, because she's kind of the one who I've been kikiing with the most since the beginning of the season, and she just always makes me laugh. We always talk a lot of shit in our chat together, and like she added so much levity to the situation of like competition for me, because it was like we're competing against each other, but we're not at all. We're friends and we just want each other to do well. And I really treasure like that experience, because that's part of why I came into this, because I really wanted to expand my drag circles and like make connections with people around the world. And I got to do that.
I would say the hardest part of this season and the whole thing is, can I answer that? It's been my inner saboteur. Like, I don't know, like, that sounds like such the worst answer ever, but like every single week it's just like, you are not good enough. And then half the time it's the judges also saying you did bad. So then it's like, oh my gosh. But no, not actually. I'm just being dramatic.
For me, I feel like unconventional materials was my flop era. And it was pretty much the hardest moment of the season for me, because it was the episode after Shanita got eliminated, and like it was really emotional for me, and I really wasn't feeling it. Like the reason my look was so bad was because I made it in such a short amount of time, because after Shanita was eliminated, I kind of just wanted to focus on our relationship and on her. Yeah, it was really sad and really difficult to push through and continue in the competition without her. So I think that was definitely my low point in the competition.
For me, the hardest moment of the season was I'm split on sending from Rosa and Susan being eliminated on Christmas. That was very hard. Losing those two was the least fun and the hardest thing for me. The challenges were hard in a sense, they were challenging, but losing my two friends in the competition was hard in a way, like that hurts and I can't do anything about it.
If I knew then what I knew now, I wouldn't have had my little accident. If you could look at Orbit from August, what would you say to her? I would say, people are not gonna get you. People are not gonna understand you. And it's gonna be a lot of hard shit. But you find drag. I'll let her know that you're gonna be fighting some bitches, so prepare. You are a little confrontational, so prepare. I would also let her know, like, hey queen, you like are not all that, and you are really gonna have to try very hard. I know you've done competitions where you kind of did whatever and it panned out great. This time you're actually gonna have to work like day in and day out. This isn't something you can pull together in 2 days. So I would pretty much let Orbit know that She is a fat cunt. Yeah, that's what I would let her know. Just like, hey girl, you're not all that. You're soon to be, but you are not as of right now.
Tyler, listen to me very carefully. Do not send this promo in. Baby, take a break. Just go sleep for 4 months, okay? Hibernate. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Then I wouldn't have learned all the things that I've learned. I would tell Tyler, you have so much potential. You don't give yourself enough credit for your own creative mind and your talents, but like, you will find your stride in this competition and you will be, you know, a better artist for it. So ask other people for help, get their support, and start believing in yourself a little more. Stop always thinking that you're not good enough or that you don't belong here.
It is time for yet another side quest, but first let's announce the winner to the last round's side quest, which was the Makeup Madness. Now, there was by far and away one winner to this. No one else even came close in the votes. So the winner of that round's side quest was Tyler Noll. Congrats, Tyler Noll, on yet another side quest win this season. But now let's get into this round's side quest, the final side quest of the season. And we thought we would have a little bit of fun and be just a little bit messy. So we asked our warriors to impersonate another member of the top 4. They were each given another warrior, and their job was to comedically impersonate whoever they are given, however they may choose. We basically gave them no other instructions. So we got some wild results. So why don't we watch those now?
Honestly, for the side quest this week, I was very much like avoiding doing it because Trisha and I really don't have a good relationship. All the feelings I have towards Trisha as a person at this point are just straight up negative. And getting her, I was like, how do I avoid commenting on her character or anything about her? So I decided to call back on her talent show where she made a glass of water, but make it even more like uncanny.
Oh my god. This is my impression of Hydra. I would pretty much let Orbit know that she is a fat cunt. And the and the movements that she was doing were not something that I would particularly do. They were uncontrolled and erratic movements. She said that those movements hey, it's me, Hydra. I am Serbian. I'm 42. I don't know her age. And I am the world's biggest bitch. And I love to suck out the fun from everything. Girl, I got a tearaway underneath my tearaway. Hey. Oh, this is my impression of Hydra. These boots. Girl, I'm so tired. Just because it's late and just tired of her. Anyway. Love, and kisses, Amanda. I love her. Anyway, I love Amanda. Hate that other bitch. Stupid. I love drama. Oh my god. To impersonate girl, I did not care. It was whatever. My experience of the impersonation challenge was quite literally whatever.
I think this is the stupidest thing I've ever done. This tops it. This tops it off.
Greetings, Earthlings. My name is Orbit. I am 21 as of right now, and my pronouns are she, her, and out of drag. And I am the retrofuturistic alien doll from Phoenix, Arizona. So I got the name Orbit because I always wanted my drag to be some kind of space alien girl or whatever, and I literally just looked up space words. Originally it was like Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, Saturn was one of them. But then I landed on Orbit. I saw Orbit and I was like, that is actually really cute. And it's short, it's sweet, it's nice, and she's cutesy. She's a mammoth, of course, but you know, she's so beautiful. So I've been doing drag, makeup and looks and everything for like 2.5 years, and then I've been performing ever since March of this year, 2023. I guess I'm just born to do drag. I decided to do drag because okay. No shade, no shade, no shade. But like, I just didn't think that anybody in my scene was giving what I wanted to see, and so I just felt like I wanted to be that. No one's giving this, and I wanted to give this, so I'm giving this. And this is what's being given, done, gave, yes. I wanted to compete on Drag Duel because I feel like I have something unique to offer, and I just want to boost myself in the drag sphere, you know, in the online drag sphere. I feel like I'm polished enough to go far in my mind, but I'm also delusional, so The fans should vote for me because, well, okay, well, one, I'm representation for the indigenous trans girlies, so if you don't root for me, that's pretty fucking rude. And I guess you just hate trans women. Sorry, I'm sure you're a lovely person. No, they should root for me because I'm funny, kind of, and I feel like I can do the damn thing. I don't see why not. I don't see why not.
Impersonating Orbit it came naturally. I mean, I already did the little boo-boo nasty speech for my mix. It was fun. I was just being silly with it. I didn't want to like make fun of her, so I just lip-synced her again.
I just wanted to start off and show y'all it's Tyler NOLL. You get it? Cause I'm your pain medicine. And I'm gonna show you she needs a man. So guys, I don't know what to do. I'm currently sitting here. I'm in the back of my Uber. I've been to 5 different hardware stores. And they don't have what I need. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go home week 1 on the talent show. They don't have what I need. If I don't find this stuff, it's game over. I've been to 6 stores, and in Korea, they just don't sell the prop I need. And if I don't have the prop, I'm done for. I'm done for. So we just got home. It's brunch in 10 minutes. I'm not joking. I have brunch in 10 minutes. All I could find was a staple remover. So I'm praying on my way there at the drugstore I can find my prop. And if I don't, I'm going home. So you guys, I'm so happy I found my prop, and we're gonna start filming for my talent show. And so I just want to talk about my brother Bobby because he was in this competition and I saw him go home and I was like, oh nar, I can't believe he's gone. But you know what? He's kind of been mean to me. He stole my packer. You know, I'm just kind of glad that I'm now the only king. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I'm the only king. It's wild out here. I had to show y'all what being a dude's like. I'm just gonna say, if y'all question why I'm wearing this hair, it's because Shanita needed the other wig. So, we're here. So if you've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, there is this scene where, or this episode where they're all being made fun of on the thing, and Toph is like this sickening, blind kid who's whooping ass, and they like get like this big dude to play them. And so then I just thought it was funny to like start with that, but then also I thought it was funny because Tyler is so sickening, and I hope he takes no offense to it, but it was so funny. Like, first impressions of Tyler was literally him crying in the back of an Uber. So I wanted to reminisce on that a little bit. I had fun this week. I got to do the one person who I love, never had any beef with. I'm the only one who got somebody who's never had like an issue with someone. So I was like, okay.
And now we want to hear from you. Yes, you, the person who still hasn't had that mold checked. You better get on that, girl.
Linked in the description of this video is a Google form where you get to choose whoever you think did the best in this week's side quest.
The voting closes Thursday, January 4th at 11:59 p.m. EST.
For this week's main battle, we wanted to test our warriors like never before, giving them only 2 weeks to give us 3 runway-ready looks in our first ever drag duel ball. We want to see diversity and range and really want them to show us what they can do when it comes to looks. Show us who they are as drag performers based on the 3 prompts that we gave them.
The categories are camp. We want to see your silly, goofy side. Make us laugh.
Horror, a look that will chill us to the bone and show off their spooky side.
And glamour. We want to see your polished, put together, and most fabulous side.
One thing that is a little bit different about this week is there will not be a drag duel to the death. Based on a lot of factors, we will cut one of the warriors ourselves.
We will take into account everything that the warriors have presented from the start of the season until now. Now, the ball does have big impact on the final decision. However, also does their track record. We wanted to make sure that the top 3 is well-rounded, so we want to take into account everything. Everything you do does matter.
So their performance in this ball, as well as throughout the entire season, will determine who moves on to our grand finale and who gets cut here at the semifinal.
So let's just tune in with our warriors and see how they are doing getting this challenge together.
So our main battle this week is the drag duel ball, where we have to serve 3 looks, glamour, camp, and horror. Hi!
Which, honestly, I think every drag artist should be able to do one of them at least, but all 3 is sickening. Like, if a drag artist can dip their toes into all 3 of them and really, like, bring you it, that is a sickening artist, in my opinion. The biggest time crunch, the shortest amount of time I've had to do a challenge was this week, the ball. And when I tell you, I stayed up multiple nights overnight for this ball because I had to leave early for my trip for the holidays. And I had lost like 4 or 5 days, and it really was like, oh, I am like sitting here just sewing and praying. And my fingers, oh my goodness, the amount of cuts I have on my fingers from the ball. Yeah, this week was like fun because I like sewing, but probably the most stressful week. Especially being in the bottom last week, I really had something to prove. There is no drag duel to the death this week, so that means that there's no chance to save ourselves. As we saw last week, I got the chance to save myself, and I did. There's none of that this week. The judges are taking in the ball, they're taking in our total overall performances in the season, and they're taking in who deserves to be into that final 3. And going into this week, it really definitely makes me nervous. I mean, we've seen my track record. It's not great. It's pretty bad. But it's one of those things that, like, I feel like I've still proven why I should be here. I still feel like I have a shot at the finale. Like, I still feel like I have a chance. And I just really don't want that to be what affects, especially going into a ball where it's like we get to sew and we get to make looks and we get to serve looks. My favorite thing. It's sad to think that, like, even if I turn it out, I could be the one going home this week. It not frustrates me because I understand. I just have very high expectations for myself, and not always did I live up to them in this competition, and I wish I would have. I am hard on myself already, and it's one of those things that I just, like, I'm trying to be better to myself and understand, like, you had moments, like, that's okay, bro, but everyone had moments. Everyone but Tyler has had to lip sync at this point. We all have our tests and our trials, and we all have a chance in this final chunk. Like, I don't know, it feels pretty even though I know that they probably don't look at it very even. But I just don't want, like, that to be what holds me back from this finale, because I know that I have so much to bring and I have so much to show, like, still, and that's like my final chance to really get to prove myself, I feel like, with all these challenges. And I'm a believer, if you win the finale, you win it. Like, I don't know.
In this competition, I've dabbled in glamorous behavior, but I've never truly just given glamour and, like, that's it. There's no concept behind it, there's no whatever. And I wanted to do that. I had this gown that was kind of plain, a little ugly, and didn't fit me correctly. It's a nice cerulean. So basically, here's her. Before, she didn't have any of the little spot stones. She didn't have any of these crystals or these little brooch embellishment type dealies to gather the fabric. I did all that. Well, and AJ, she helped me. I took it in, because lately in the competition, I haven't been coarsening for my looks. I did it. And baby, I'm sorry. It's giving body. It's giving body. It's giving hourglass.
Hey, queen.
Hi.
Stones.
You'll
Glue.
see it.
Glue. The rest is just hot glue. Hot glue. Glue. Picker upper.
Glue.
Picker upper. The quicker picker upper.
I don't know, can you fucking see stones on there? piecey stones.
Stones.
Just like a sprinkling of stones.
But here she is. She's a dead body. She's stuffed with a blanket.
She's covered in motor oil.
Yep.
In the Denny's bathroom.
Yeah, this is our new apartment. Hi.
We have a couch. We're
If-
not living in poverty.
Yeah, if you saw my ballad challenge confessionals, those were in the new apartment. My new white wall.
For camp, I had this idea in my head. I think I was going for a sort of like Richard Quinn's type silhouette where there's this one look that's like rose like floral patterned, and it's just like skin tight underneath, and the dress itself is just like a band around the bust, and then it just like poofs out. I think that's a very camp silhouette. It's big, it's frilly. I wanted to do that silhouette, and I was thinking of what could I be? Like, what could I be for camp? What concept could I be? So I landed on a ladybug, because I think that's really cute. I love bugs. So I made this. It looks like a big skirt, but it's really just a dress. Yeah, basically it's a band that wraps around the bust, and then this puffs out with a giant petticoat. We hand painted all the dots and stuff and rhinestoned it. It was really cool making this look. It like actually felt like I'm doing something from scratch and like it's succeeding, and it's not like the design challenge. This I'm proud of, my little headpiece. Hi! And it feels like it's a signature orbit look. So sorry, I'm camp queen.
So I'm in the middle of making my camp look that I have to take to Arizona and film. It's the night before I fly. Right now, this is my outfit. I'm currently hot gluing the seams because I don't feel like sewing. I can, I just don't wanna. Because I'm lazy. This is gonna be my little headpiece bonnet thing that goes around my head. It's made out of like those really cheap, like fuzzy wire things or
Like,
whatever.
basically just like jumbo pipe cleaners.
Yeah, but like soft and not wiry feeling. They don't feel like a toothbrush. But yeah, so it's pretty much that around like a violet tchotchke head base, so where it's like a circle and then it's like a bunch of cross sections. Yeah. But yeah, it's adorable. It's a little headpiece thing, and I'm a ladybug. I kind of like that one as kind of like teeny tiny, and the other one's like really big.
I was gonna say.
It adds to like the whimsy of it. I don't know, I really like it.
Having to fly to Arizona in the middle of this due date and this deadline or whatever. Oh my god, it was so stressful. It got to a point where I was like, okay, I know I didn't want to bring any drag to my fucking Christmas family vacation, but I guess I have to. So I'm like, you know what? I'm taking one look and that's it. No matter what, I'm doing 2 looks here before I fly, because I'll be damned if I'm taking 2 whole ass looks. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm taking camp to Arizona. And even in Arizona, I was still working on it. In Arizona, I was hand sewing on the little snaps at the front, and I was stoning the entire thing in Arizona. So, girl, it was crazy. It was crazy town. Workroom footage, I'm in drag.
Yeah, we've just filmed Glamour.
And we're doing horror right now, so
Hi, Carrie.
I'm doing Carrie for horror, so I got this white wedding dress for $45 at the Goodwill. Wedding dress, prom dress, big white gown.
Yeah.
Because I'm a drag queen. But anyway, so we're just taking red paint, and as of right now, we're just going vertically down the dress, kind of just fucking it up and like making it look like drips going down the dress, and then taking
Paper towels.
Yep, taking paper towels and just
My hands.
oh
This
yeah,
girl.
and we're just taking it and just dragging it down the dress,
Yeah.
so it looks like it got dunked on us.
Yeah.
And then for these bigger splotches here and like whatever, we're gonna take like the teeniest drops of black to really deepen it up, but like other than that, I think it'll look good. I'm having a lot of fun.
This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, because it's just fucking up a dress.
Yeah. Fucking up a dress while listening to girl metal.
Yes, absolutely. I wanted to do a Carrie look because when I got horror, I was like, well, I don't have any prosthetics. Spirit Halloween's not around anymore. What can I do? What can I do? I'm not a horror queen. I'm not particularly like alternative in the sense of like gothic and horrific and things of that nature. And so I was like, okay, what like horror movie character can I be? And so we decided on Carrie because we're like, okay, the materials are easy to find, white gown and paint. The rest we had, when I had all my concepts and all my like ideas together, because at the beginning I was like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm not excited for this challenge. Fuck this challenge. I don't know what to do. I have nothing. But then when I calmed down and I decided on things, my favorite was probably camp. It was probably the one I was most excited for, especially when it was all finished and like packed away and I'm flying to Arizona. I'm like, and I got into drag. It was the most fun I've had, like filming a runway. It was, I don't know, it was such a fun time. But as soon as I finished filming camp and I like submitted everything, bitch, the biggest sigh of relief I've ever done in my life. Bigger than when I finished Art Pop. Like, girl, big sigh of relief. So that's how I did it. That's how I made the magic happen.
I took this challenge, I took it a few different ways. I really wanted glamour to be very simple, very elegant, very much about the silhouette more than anything in the tailoring.
Me, right now I'm working on glamour. I'm putting together the skirt with the pencil skirt part to like the flowy mermaid part. I'm really excited. I think that it's going to be like a really sickening thing. I have some sneak peeks. I'm working on the corset back here. We got the bra cups in here that we just got. We need to sew those in. We need to put the skirt together and then we're gonna start working on like the accessories. I'm right now doing the glove patterns. Basically right now I am taking the fabric and I am pinning it down, and we are literally just going to take our hands and trace glove patterns, but I'm not cutting them out. That's what I learned. If you just leave the glove, like the pattern for it, you know, make sure the arm, yada yada, all fit right, you literally just cut the fabric like a square and just follow the chalk and you just sew the glove, and then you cut it out, and then you cut in between the fingers and yada yada, and hopefully it works. I mean, I've just been told about this technique. I've not tried it, so it could not work. And then we're down a glove and useless footage, so let's dive into it, girls. Okay, everyone, you're getting a live reaction of if it works as a glove. Oh my goodness, I didn't really think this through with the camera. Okay, wait a minute. Did it work? I think it did, question mark. I guess it could be debated. The middle finger is having a little bit of an issue, so I might need to loosen that up on this side. But let's try the other one, because maybe that one doesn't have as much issues. I don't know, maybe I'll cut them out. But if I cut them out, then I'm done for if they don't fit. I think I just am gonna have to cut them out and see how it goes. So overall, I would call this glove a success. I mean, it is very simple. It's non-stretch fabric, so like nobody be dragging me for the little bit of like a. Actually, I don't know. It's kind of sickening. I mean, I think I'm sold. Am I a glove girl now? I finally figured out a way to hide my no nails.
When it came to camp was really hard to come up with. Camp is a hard category without like a theme on top of it to like dive into, because it's like camp is really anything and everything in a way, but not. But it's like usually like really dramatic, really like like details blown up out of proportion, like, you know, stuff like that. I wanted to really go like glamorous in it, like I don't know, like all of them. I mean, I I'm really in my pretty era right now. Y'all could argue that, but but it was more about like the storyline of it. Like I wanted to look like I was an Animal Crossing character who happens to also be a flower attacked by bees. And it was like supposed to be silly.
Here we go. So Christi really has saved the day. She's come here and helped me. She's right now helping me with my camp look. She's cleaning up all the lines. Also, my boyfriend Jonathan and Dan helped paint it, but they needed to get the lines cleaned up a little. So we got our girl Christi. No shade, because they got the base and that's what's important. So me and Christi's brains creativity came up with the idea of how to add a bunch of bees floating around in a swarm for my camp. It's gonna be basically me as a giant flower being attacked by bees. Is the kind of concept. Because I think it's like silly, funny. It's like what would happen if a giant flower existed. So it's gonna be just like a take on that. So basically what I'm doing is like, I'm taking this like wire. Where is this? It's stem wire, like to do flower arrangements. Yeah, it's like flower arrangement wire. And there's these little like balls that were painted to look like little bees. So I'm just like, basically there's like a wire waistband that's gonna go underneath like one of the layers of the outfit. And then these like coming up are gonna be like coming out from that part. So they're gonna kind of be like around there. Yeah. I just hold it up with pins for now, but but it's coming together sickening. I'm really excited for the ball. Fashion is kind of my thing, and now I got my sister whose fashion's kind of her thing. Exactly. So we're about to tear. Gorgeous, gorgeous girls loves runways and IQ. Yes, they do.
I was really thankful for Christi this week. Christi has not always helped me. Like, if I'm honest, that was like the first time Christi truly helped me. And she turned it out for me. She helped me so much. I was like, it made up for everything. She like came in and really was like, I'm gonna stay up with you this night and we're gonna get stuff done. Camp was basically able to be finished because of her. Like, without that, I would have lost even more sleep. I maybe got over those 4 days before I had to leave. I had to work 2 of them, and I think I maybe got 12 hours of sleep with all the days combined. It was bad. Like, I was literally like breaking down. My boyfriend was like forcing me to eat because I couldn't, like, I had not been eating because I was just working and I'm that person who I was like, oh, once I finish this, I'll eat. And then I accidentally start the next thing. I'm like, oh, once I finish this, I'll eat. So like, I will not eat for 2 days straight on accident sewing. Like, I am bad when it comes to like healthy habits and like stuff together at the same, and like having due dates and stuff, because I will put the due date over my well-being. My horror was my favorite to like construct, and it's an idea I've been wanting to do forever. So I like, with that one, I just really wanted to be like Y2K. I want to give Spice, but like if she was a Monster High doll instead of a Bratz doll, but then also like the Necronomicon is kind of thrown into there, and it's like evil and like demonic. I first thought everybody was gonna go very like covered faces, blah 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 blah, which some did. But I wanted to really like just give that like Y2K kind of hot girl that's also like demonic.
For the ball, my first, like, the initial thought process was I didn't want to repeat a single silhouette I did throughout the season. So I like put the themes down on a paper and I pulled up all the pictures of my runways in the season. And I was like, okay, glamour, I think everyone's gonna do dresses for glamour, which happened, so I was right. So I was like, what's a silhouette that I've never done? And I decided to do pants because I think it's a bit harder to make pants super glamorous. I wanted my camp look to be, because the definition of camp is, from what I've understood, something super unserious done in a super serious way. So I decided, because everyone hates me and everyone thinks I'm a dick, I'm gonna do like a penis costume, but it's gonna be like a super glamorous dress that's trying very hard to be a super glamorous dress, but it's obviously a penis. Because I thought everyone was gonna have like very silly costumes for the camp one, and I think that misses the theme a bit. I have to say the category that I was the most and the least excited for was the same category, and it was camp. because I felt it was the category that I had to nail, because throughout the season, I think I've had like super glamorous looks. I had the horror look for the design challenge, and I think I haven't shown like funny side in the runways. So I felt like the camp one was the one where I had the most to prove. So it was the one that I spent by far the most time on. It was the one that I like spent the most time designing, sewing, everything. But I'm so happy with how it turned out. It was definitely the one that, like, it's the focus of my runway, of my ball package. So it's not exactly, it's 30 minutes past midnight on the last day we have for the ball. And I have one finished look. This week is really hard. My glamour look is pretty much done. I just need to pick up one thing that I had sewn for it. And I need to add a couple of stones and finish stoning the hair. Just that. And that's like half a day's work, but okay. My horror look, I've been working on it for the entire day. It's not even halfway done. And my camp look, I got photos of. So, and I'm not just doing this for like the drama. It's literally like there's 24 hours before the deadline. I haven't slept for like 30 hours. And I plan on sleeping 1 hour today and just waking up and working, because you need to photograph both of the looks. You need to do the mini challenge that takes up an entire day. I'm not horrible at time management. I thought I had my horror look done. For the horror, I had a completely different runway pretty much finished and planned out from like weeks before. And I spent a lot of money on it. I bought like a UV paint that the shipping for was like crazy expensive. But the Dragula episode airs, and the entire episode is themed around reveals with the UV paint. And I was like, okay, mine is different, but if I do that, everyone is gonna think I just stole it from the Dragula episode because it's so fresh in everyone's mind. So 2 days before the deadline, and because I had horror finished, I thought I had way more time to do my camp and my glamour, but it turned out I didn't. So I only had 2 days to do my entire horror look. Everyone's gonna have the episode really fresh in their mind, and if I do it, it's just gonna seem like I copied the entire concept. So yeah, really feel horrible. So I had to change my entire concept for the horror look. And I didn't have any money because I spent it all on the UV paint. So I rummaged through all my scraps from previous runways, and I had the like red leather from the planned runway. I had the white fabric from the monochromatic runway. I had the blood from the swine music video, and I just bought a bit of latex to make the prosthetic. And I stayed up pretty much for 48 hours. I slept 1 hour in the 2 days, just making the prosthetic hands, making the face prosthetic. But I'm super happy with how it turned out. And I'm glad that I have like 3 very different looks. I'm really struggling. This is so hard. But the inspiration for my horror is Princess Mononoke, the anime. Because I've always been really scared of like diseases and body stuff and infections and worms. And they have characters that are lepers who are wrapped up in like bandages, and they have like the demons that have like worms and body stuff crawling all over them. So I decided to combine the two. I think it's gonna be relatively simple, but I think it's gonna be very impactful. I just need to like execute it and manage to sew every piece of the runway in time. But I'm so scared because I feel like the ball should be the episode I do great in, and by the looks of it today, it doesn't seem like I'm gonna do great in it. So for the horror look, I want to do something with liquid latex, and I barely managed to find some, and it's pretty small, the bottle I found. So I'm not gonna get to do what I planned on doing with it, but I'm gonna do something with the face. This is a cast of my face, but this is like 5 years ago or something. I'm hoping like not a lot has changed. I did lose some weight since then, but I think it's gonna be fine because it's gonna be a bit loose anyway, the thing that I'm making. I haven't worked with liquid latex in like a classical SFX sense, but SFX were like the thing that I wanted to do before drag. I was like, okay, I can be a drag queen, but I can like live out my fantasy by doing like movie makeup, but we don't have movies in Serbia, so that wasn't gonna happen. It's literally more feasible that I become a drag queen than doing special effects. So I hope I manage to like pull something off that works for what my idea is. One thing that I'm super proud about my horror, I think it's really like scary, like it's actually horror. It's not like a dress with a black eyeliner, like a bat eyeliner or something. It's like actually, it looks like it's from a horror movie. And that's something that I really wanted from the start, so I'm really happy I managed to do that.
So there's less than 1 week until our ball looks are due. I only have one garment so far, and it still needs embellishing. And I don't have the hair or the accessories for the look yet. And the other two looks are literally non-existent. It's just sketches. And I've been so fucking sick, I haven't been able to go buy anything that I need. And I basically have been like, had a cold for weeks that turned into the flu that now is like, at least I'm not puking anymore, but I'm still unbelievably sick, exhausted by like 10 minutes of work. And everybody I know who is supposed to help me with my looks is also unbelievably fucking sick. Like, the entirety of the gay scene in Korea is like suffering from cold and flu symptoms right now, and nobody is able to like pick up the slack for me because everybody's sick. So I just have to figure out what the fuck to do in like a very short amount of time and with very little energy and very little manpower. It sucks because I really wanted to do this right and I wanted to like show the growth that I've had, but I don't think that like circumstances are gonna allow me to do that. I don't know, I'm just disappointed. This is like so awful. So awful.
That is it for this week. Want to see more of what our contestants are working on? Early access to the episodes and bunch, and I mean bunch, of unaired and unedited footage. Also a chance to join the Discord server where you can chat with the judges and the warriors. We'll join our Patreon. What are you waiting for?
Be sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube so that you never miss an episode, especially next week's ball. I've seen the looks. It is insane. You guys are truly not ready for what is to come next week.
And we will also be joined by an extra special guest judge straight from Canada's Drag Race Season 3, somebody who always brings it to the runway. Please welcome to the judging panel, Bombay!
That is it for episode 19 of Drag Duel. We are at the final stretch right now, people.
Happy New Year, everybody! Here is to pretending that anything changes once the year does too. Cheers!